Hello guys, welcome to Hankins Custom Rifles and another episode of Hank's TV. Today we're going to talk about this gun right here that's on the bench. And it's a 375 Cheytac. We've already talked about it a little bit. I did a hunting video of it and I went over it in the hunting video a little bit. But I wanted to do it again in a separate video because here lately YouTube is starting to frown on hunting videos and stuff like that. So I wanted to just do another video on this one to make sure that YouTube don't mark the video as inappropriate for all audiences. They have marked a few of my videos that way. I've got some hunting videos that get pretty graphic, I guess you could say, and they've marked it for not suitable for all ages and different things, not suitable for all advertisers. So we want to keep this video to where everybody can see it. There's nothing wrong with owning guns in America. People said it 1,000 times. It's not the guns that kill people, it's the people that kill people. It don't matter if you got a gun or here lately a freight truck. You can still get them. But anyway, we're going to go over this gun and I'm going to bring you in closer with the camera and zoom in on it and go around it. And I set it here in the sun. My bench, I usually shoot out that way, but you won't be able to see much of the gun because it'll be in the shade. So I've turned it around where the sun's shining on it so you can get a good look at the whole gun. So let me bring you in closer and we'll go over this thing real quick. Okay guys, what we've got here is a 375 Cheytac, and that's built on a Stiller action. That's their TAC 408 action, and they use that action or supply it to builders to build 408 Cheytacs and 375 Cheytacs and some other larger caliber ammunition that's built off of that 505 Gibbs cartridge, and it works really well. It's a large action. It's 1.450 in diameter, and it works really well for these big Magnum cartridge guns. So I think that's a great choice for anybody that's going to build a 375 or a 408 Cheytac. Now the stock that we used on this gun is a Manners T5A stock. It's got the adjustable cheek piece in it. We wanted to have a little extra room to raise your cheek up off of the stock, so we went with this T5A, and you can see right there where I had to go in and machine out a little bit more material because it didn't allow the bolt to come back all the way when you had the adjustable cheek adjusted up. I believe what Manners probably did is they just machined that with their standard machine program to fit a regular 700 long action, and it just wasn't quite enough for that extra long bolt that is supplied with the 408 tactical action from Manners. Now the paint job on there, I did that myself, and I used some special formulated paints. It's got a flat clear coat on there. When I get everything done, and I use an airbrush to paint these things, and when I get everything done, I put a flat matted clear coat across it that protects the paint underneath, and I put an anti-slip in the clear coat so you get a little bit of a grit. It almost feels like maybe a 600 grit sandpaper against your hands, and that gives you something to hold on to if it gets wet or inclement weather. You've got a little bit of grip there to hold on to it. Now we'll move on out here to the barrel, and the barrel that I used on this gun is a Brooks barrel, and I've been getting kind of fond of Brooks barrels lately. I really like them. Brooks barrels has taken off in the market over the last 5 years. They are just really making some super nice stuff. So that's a Brooks barrel there with a 1 in 10 twist. It's 1.350 in diameter, straight for 5 or 6 inches, and then it tapers down to 900 at the muzzle, and it's 29 inches long. We put a Magnum muscle brake on there, and we're going to walk around and I'll give you a better look at the Magnum muscle brake. Okay, so there's you a better look at the Magnum muscle brake, and that thing works pretty good. It's been really effective at knocking the recoil down on this rifle. The rifle turned out to weigh 19 pounds, which is a pretty good weight for a rifle, but with a gun this big you need some weight, and it turned out really nice. So let's move on up here to the rifle scope. The scope that we put on this gun was bought and sent to me by the customer, and we went with an 8-32 NXS with a mill rad, and that makes for quicker and faster adjustments for really long range. And what they're planning on using this for is some really long range hunting out in Utah and Colorado, out that way. So I think they built the right rifle, or they made the right choice for a really long range gun. It comes with a 20 MOA Picatinny rail, and then I think there's like 120 inches of adjustment in that scope, if I remember right, somewhere around there. It's got a big magazine for this rifle, holds 7 rounds, plus you could put one in a chamber, so you'd have 8 rounds of ammunition at your fingertips whenever you needed to make some shots at some super long ranges. And I think what I'll do is turn the gun around and show you guys a quick view of the other side, and then I'm going to box this up today and get it shipped out to Utah. Okay guys, I turned the rifle around just so you can kind of get a quick look of the other side. It's not a whole lot different from the side we were just looking at, except you can see that bolt, you can see how long it is. You can see right there where I did that little extra machining to clear that bolt so that you could pull it all the way back and still have your cheek piece raised up. We can still go up another notch or two with the cheek piece, but that was pretty comfortable for me when I was shooting it, so that's where I left it. You can see the jewel trigger that's in this gun. It's got a bottom safety on it. I like to put safeties on the guns, whether guys decide they want to use them or not. A lot of people that'll build this gun would put just a bench rest trigger on it with no safety. Now, that'll work in most cases, but I like to have safeties on all my triggers. Now, moving on down the stock there, you can just see the paint job. The Night 4 scope mounted. Everything turned out really nice on this gun. We've got super accuracy out of it. I sighted this in, and I know 100 yards is nothing for a gun like this, but I shot this thing at 100 yards shooting Sierra Match Kings, them big 350 SMKs, and I had 3 bullets practically in the same hole. The thing had super accuracy. I took it over to the range where I can shoot out to 444 yards, and I was ringing steel, and I mean hitting the orange dot that I was aiming at on the steel gong. Some of you guys are familiar with my range, you've all seen it. That's where we did the hunting video. But the thing is shooting really good. We decided to load up some solid copper bullets, and that's what I did all the testing with, other than the sight in, and then I shot a few of those at 100 yards also, just to make sure they stabilized good and there was no tumbles in the paper. But we've shot it out to 450 yards, and it performed really well. So I'm going to call that the conclusion of this video. If you guys need, or anybody out there wants me to build them a 375 or a 408 Cheytac, contact me at Hankins Custom Rifles, and I can build you this gun for almost half of what Cheytac USA is asking for these rifles. Now, it doesn't take twice the money to build a gun twice as big. I don't understand why they think they need to charge $10,800 for one of these guns when they should be able to build it for less than almost half of that. And I'll build it for you for half of that. You'll get your gun with a set of sizing dies. I'll mount the scope, sight it in, do everything for you that I just did for this guy here, and when you get it, it'll be ready to go. Or you can decide to mount your own scope and sight it in. And there's some other manufacturers that make the rifle sizing dies, the shell casing sizing dies, I should say, so that you can do your own reloads. It's up to you how you want to go about it. We can work you up a package deal, or we can build just a rifle and send it to you, but it'll be, I can guarantee you, it's going to be half the price that you'll pay from Cheytac USA for one of these guns. And I can also guarantee you that it will shoot just as good, if not better. So contact me at Hankins Custom Rifles. I'll hook you up with one of these monster guns. 1,000-yard shots are pretty easy with this thing. They're actually shooting these guns out to 2 miles and doing it effectively. So it can be done. It takes a lot of work, and I'm not going to say it's easy, but I would almost think a 1,000-yard shot with a rifle like this would be pretty easy, as long as you knew your ballistics, you know your wind, and you know your exact yardage. You can't be off 10 yards or you'll miss your target at that distance. So you have to know it's an exact yardage to make a shot that far away. Anyway, fellas, thumbs up on the videos. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Visit Hank's message board for all your information you'd ever want to know about guns and ammunition and muzzle loaders and all that good stuff. We're all there to help. And until next time, we'll see you later.